Hello everybody, and welcome to the face reading of the people in the news. Today we'll be talking about the late president of Czechoslovakia and then after Czechia and Slovakia split, president of Czechia, Václav Havel. By the way, I almost forgot, for those of you who are with me today for the first time, if you get interested in the subject of face reading, you can watch my YouTube introduction to face reading. You can also buy my book, Face Reading for Successful Relationships. It is available on Amazon.com. I will not talk about Václav Havel because he has been on the news. He died in 2011. But because Amy, one of the people who watches my face reading videos, asked me to do so. And why did I rush to fulfill her request? Because when she wrote to me, "Can you please do face reading of Václav Havel?" I realized of how great an oversight on my part it was. So many times speaking to friends about politics and politicians, I said, Václav Havel is one of the greatest people of the 20th century. They should teach about him in schools. And yet I never did a reading on him. So it is my attempt to remedy this mistake. And sadly, I have to admit, there is a chance that my oversight is due to me selling myself out to what's popular. If it is true, I promise it was not conscious. But as I looked at the videos I did on different people, an interesting picture emerged. I did a reading on Nick Vujicic, an extraordinary man from Australia who was born without arms and legs, and the incredible things he has done with his life to make it joyful, meaningful, and enriching for others and himself. After 3 years, only 273 people watched the video. And the video of Albert Einstein was viewed only 483 times. Nelson Mandela, 600 times. But Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, over 22,000 times. And Prince Harry and his bride at the time, over 85,000. You get the point. Okay, I'm sorry for whining. I guess I needed to vent. Without any further delay, Václav Havel, ladies and gentlemen, a writer, former dissident, who was in prison over and over again for speaking up against the oppressive socialist regime, for speaking up for human rights. Who a mere 8 months after being freed from jail became the first president of the free Czechoslovakia. Not many world leaders can boast of going from political prisoner to chief of state in the course of a single year. I can speak a lot about his presidency and his politics, but I leave the exploring of this to you, if you have not yet done it. This is not the subject of this video. What I want to do today is to see what we can find in this man's outer characteristics, his appearance, his morphology, that will give us an insight about the inequalities that govern the choices he made in his life. First, we read his face, that stands for his personality, the qualities that he acquired, or we all acquire, as a result of upbringing and education. Let's look at this photo at relatively younger age, though you will see that with age his face did not change much. Those of you who have been with me for a while, what do you think Havel's face is? It's not an easy one to figure out. Take your time. He is a Uranus. Yes, one of these. What makes it confusing is a little bit of that flash or fat on the sides of his face. But that comes from his temperament being partially lymphatic. We'll get to that later. Interesting, now when I'm looking at them, of all of these people, it seems to me that Václav Havel and Andrew Jackson have many similar features. Same chin, same large forehead, the same straight across eyebrows, and the same thin upper lip. His face is just a bit broader. than that of your usual Uranus. The Uranus personality includes all characteristics of the Saturn traits, with some being taken to the extreme. So first, let me remind you of the qualities of the Saturn. Saturn are extremely conscious of time. They like timelines, they like time to be accounted for. Very reliable people, must have order to be comfortable. They have more perseverance in what they do than any personality. Out of all 12 personalities, most perseverant. They're always organized and meticulous and always know what they have done so far and what is left to do. The Saturn are deep thinkers with philosophical inclination. They're positive pessimists. They see the downside of everything, but that fuels their need to make things better. This is because overcoming challenges is what gives their life meaning, very much like any pure bilious temperament is. The Saturn like to work on specific details. They take one point and go deeply with it. But that is a Saturn so far. And in addition, as a Uranus, Howell is not only a deep philosophical thinker, but he was far advanced in his thinking. Often the Uranus are visionaries ahead of their time. While Saturn's behavior is always measured and predictable, a Uranus may be quite eccentric. That was Howell's persona so far. Let's look at some of the features. Straight across eyebrows tell us that he was stubborn or persistent, if you want to use a better term. Large ears, a sign of great independence. And a thin upper lip means that he was not in a hurry to pour his heart out to the world, to share what's deep inside. And once we are talking about the features, look at the space between the tragus and the antitragus. You see very little space, which tells us that he was not that talkative. Interesting. I found that there are many writers who have similar features, not too talkative, and a thin upper lip, not sharing with what's inside with the world. It's like they found their unique way to express themselves, but not through spoken word. So now we're talking about the profile, the qualities that Howell came into this world with, his temperament. You can see clearly that he had a bilious chin and a bilious corner of the jaw. But the forehead was slightly tilted back, as you can see, which made him bilious with a sanguine/nervous forehead. But if you look under the chin, you see that flash hanging down there. Green line. That is a lymphatic quality. And finally, can you see what I see? There is also this whole nervous cast, if you look as well. You could see it best on this picture where he is older. You see the bow-like profile? Here's a great shot where you can see both his lymphatic and nervous profile. So we have a person who temperamentally was able to experience life through the lens of all four temperaments. Very few people actually have all four temperaments. By his nature, as a bilious, he was willful, organized, oppositional, natural leader, and a positive pessimist who was not intimidated by obstacles. He had a sanguine impulsivity and a quick and creative nervous mind, mediated and calmed by the lymphatic ability to be patient and non-judgmental, to sit back and see the whole picture, to see the forest behind the tree. It was all spiced with his stubbornness, the eyebrows, strong need for independence, the big ears, and the traits of the visionary far ahead of his time, the Uranus personality. Blend it all together, And you get this incredible person who guided people not by the strength of his vocal cords, name-calling, manipulating, or seducing people, but by the power of his ideas, tolerance, respect for opinions of others, and genuine care for human dignity and freedom. In one of his works he wrote, "When the truth is not giving complete freedom, freedom is not complete." And I think more than anything, this man taught us by the example of his life that people can be powerful by being honest, free, and in peace with themselves and the world around them. And that is all for Václav Havel. Thank you for being with me today. Peace to all who want to live in peace.